Okay, welcome everybody to, what's today? February 4th, 2016, and we are at, where are we? Yeah, Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority Youth One-Stop Affiliate, right? And welcome everyone. So we're going to talk about mind mapping today, starting at 1, but before that we're going to talk about what we usually talk about, which is why we're here and why do we do this program the way we do it and what the benefits are for you. So my name is Edward. I am the Director of Education at Larson Training Centers. And what is Larson Training Centers? Do you know?
No.
Renee? No? You don't remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What percent do we forget?
70.
70, yeah, okay. How about you? Larson? Okay. Erica?
Larson is a place where the unemployable can learn just to be unemployed.
All right. Okay. Okay. Did you say unemployable or unemployed?
Like unemployed.
What did you say?
People who basically had prison homeless people.
Okay. Oops.
It's a post-secondary school.
Okay, there we go. That's a start. So Larson is a licensed post-secondary school. We have a campus in LA. We've been doing this since 1989 in LA. Anybody here born before 1989? Okay, so the school was here before anybody was born. And we have a campus, currently 2 campuses in Las Vegas. One is located on Lake Mead at Nevada Partners, and the other one is located near Russell Road in Valley View. Anybody know where that is? Russell Road? Valley View?
Valley View.
It's not far from the freeway.
Yeah, opposite side of the street, right?
Correct.
Right.
So it is, at that location is a state prison called Casa Grande. So yesterday we officially had our first day of operating inside a prison. And that's a historic day in the state of Nevada because this is the first licensed school to have a campus located inside a prison in Nevada. So that was a historic day. So Larson is a nonprofit post-secondary school, which means after high school. And as Erica said, we do have some students who are in prison. They get to leave prison to come to school. Or if they're at Casa Grande, they leave their rooms and get to come to the classroom. We also have students that are sentenced by the courts. They were convicted of a misdemeanor, but they can't pay their fines, and the courts give them the opportunity to go to school instead of sweeping streets. And we have other students who live in Catholic Charities, Salvation Army, Shade Tree, the Mission, and places like that. So we are a school that takes the people who need education the most, and we also have the highest placement rate in the state of Nevada, higher than UNLV, CSN, Toro, Phoenix, any other post-secondary school we have that. So we start with people that have about a 5% chance of stable and meaningful employment, and we get them at 87%. And it's not so much about what we do, even though the quality of our instructors is better than you would get at any other post-secondary school here. If you went to any other school, you are not going to get a better instructor than you have today. I can promise you that. Now, if you're in graduate school, you probably would, but you're not going to get, in undergraduate school, you're not going to get you're not going to get the education that you have today. Okay, what is your name?
Kayana.
What?
Kayana.
How do you spell it?
K-I-Y.
K-I-Y?
I-A-N-A.
Okay, good. Okay, so we don't get to an 87% because we're special. We get to an 87% because our students are motivated to get stable, meaningful employment. And they teach themselves the things that they need to do to get stable, meaningful employment. And we give people the techniques that they really need to get stable, meaningful employment. So, for example, when you're in interviews, there are things you should say and should not say. For example, if Kevin, if someone says, "Why do you want to work here?" what do you say? So he's smiling because he remembers we did this last week. He's smiling because he remembers that he doesn't remember what the answer was, right? What do you say? If you do that, game over. You don't know why you want to work here? Why do you want to work here? Okay, why do you want to work here?
Because I believe I'm the perfect person for this position.
Okay, why?
Why?
Okay.
Because of my skills and
Oh,
qualifications.
okay, so let's pretend. What's the job you're applying for?
Security job.
Okay, security, like a security guard?
Yes.
Okay. So why do you think you're better than Schultz here, who was with the Navy SEALs?
I don't know.
Okay, next contestant. Okay, so we help you. Wouldn't it be better if when you go into an interview, you're prepared with an answer to that question?
Yes.
See, the good news is you are on the right track because I'm better. But what's the right answer, Ernie?
That you're going to make them the most money and save money.
Okay, so the best answer is very close to that is because I'm going to make you more money than anyone else. Because why are they hiring you fundamentally?
So you can be an asset to their company.
Well, why are they hiring you?
But I have the skills.
Jonathan, why are they hiring you? Okay, so this is an important thing to know. These are things to write down if you don't have them written down. So next week, when I ask you the question, okay, why do businesses hire people? Renee?
Because people help like build their company, like
Okay, you're on the target. Christina?
profits.
Okay, businesses hire people because they want to make money or they want to save money. Most people, and the people here, you should be involved in the side of helping them make money. What kind of people save money for a company? Whitney, what kind of people save money in a company? That their job is to save money?
I wouldn't say bankers and
No, in a company.
yeah.
So you work for a pizza company, what, a pizza parlor. Who do they hire to help them save money?
Obviously the finance advisor or something like that.
Okay,
Or the manager.
who else?
I would say the same thing.
Okay, it's the accounting people. Okay. Finance people, again, it's on the target. It's a little different role. Advisor, it's a little different role. Ah, good, Desmond. Yeah, good to see you. Okay, so finance people, sort of, managers that sort of, but really what their job is to do what at the pizza parlor? What's the guy's job? Huh?
The guy that's handling all the money,
No, what's the manager's job?
the manager, to keep the employers in check.
Okay, guys, this is the fundamental stuff for work. Okay, it's to make money. Okay, businesses exist to make money. Now I'm not talking about government businesses. I'm not talking about like people here that are here to help. I'm talking about guys that own businesses, the places that you want to hire you. They're around because they want to make money. They want to go on vacations. They want to send their kids to good schools. They want to have nice stuff. Okay, let's see, Desmond, why don't you sit here? I need you to do something for me. I forgot to do. Would you plug this in underneath the... Okay, so businesses want to make money. That's why they exist. They only hire people to make them money or to save them money. Okay, that's an important thing to know. So when you're in an interview, you need to be able to articulate something that no one else is going to say. So don't feel bad that we're only 5 minutes into it and everybody has failed the first basic question of getting a job. So, to Jonathan's point, why should we hire you? The best answer is because I'm going to make you more money than anyone else. And what do you want them to say to that? Kiana? Huh? Okay, what do you want them to say, Renee?
Or maybe how?
Exactly. You want to set them up. This is like a game of chess. You want to have it planned out where you're in control of the interview. So you want them to say, how are you going to do that? Okay, and then what do you say? Carlos?
Well, you said, what was the question?
Okay, when they say how, what do you say?
Improve the company?
No. You say the things they expect you to say, which is what, Jonathan? Okay. You say the things they expect. I'm going to work harder, I'm loyal, I'm trustworthy, I'm all of these things that they're expecting, and then you set them up for the next question. And I know the cloud, and I can bring the cloud, I can help bring the cloud here. I can bring us the cloud. And you want them to say what, Erica?
What's the cloud?
Thank you, Erica. Yes. Yes, right, Erica? That's what you want to say. Well, it's the cloud. Okay? And then you nail them with what the cloud is. Okay? Because here's the thing to know, and write this down. All businesses are moving to the cloud. All businesses are moving to the cloud. So what's the example I usually use, Ernie, when I talk, or Desmond, when I talk about that? And I say, all businesses are moving to the cloud.
The horse-drawn wagon.
Okay, good.
Oh, the whiskey thing, yeah.
Not whiskey.
Bourbon.
No, beer.
Beer. Those are all
Okay.
hard liquors.
In the year 1900, 0.0% of people who made beer and delivered it to bars and taverns had gas-powered vehicles. So how did they deliver the stuff, Whitney?
By trucks and other transportation.
Okay, in 1900, there were no trucks.
Oh, sorry.
So how did they do it?
By horse.
Carry it? Horses?
Horse-drawn.
Horse-drawn wagons, right? We've all seen Western movies of horse-drawn wagons. 0.0 beer companies delivered beer in gasoline-powered engines. By the year 2000, 0.0 companies that delivered beer delivered them with horse-drawn wagons. Right? Everybody agree with that? Okay. And it didn't go like this. It didn't go, well, here was the adoption curve like that. It went like this. This is 100%. In 1900, 100% of beer was delivered in horse-drawn wagons. And let's say this is 0%, right? In the year 2000, it was 0. Do you think that the curve went like this? What did the curve look like? It went like this. So it took about 2 or 3 years for every company to get rid of the horses and bring in the trucks. Why? Why did they do that?
It was more efficient, save them money.
To make money and survive. Okay, because everybody else was doing it. So in the beginning, you might have been kind of kooky if you were the first guy to switch over from horse-drawn wagons to trucks, because what would your competitors be saying? They're crazy.
Yeah.
Trucks aren't reliable. Horses have been around for 2,000 years. Okay, but then a couple years later, if you were the guy that still had the horse-drawn wagon, what would people say about you? They're outdated. They're old-fashioned. They just don't get it. Boy, their beer probably has bacteria in it too. Might not be healthy. It's not fresh. So that was the adoption curve for things. Okay, it was like that. Now, we are at that place in time right now with technology, and it's the cloud. So right now, today, we're probably like here 95% of businesses are pre-cloud. If we change this to 2100, 100% of businesses are going to be on the cloud. And it's going to be an adoption curve exactly like this. Now, once they get it, boom, everybody's switching. So, let's go back to our horse-drawn wagon example. Okay, you work at the beer company that has the horse-drawn wagons, okay? Everybody picture this. So, who's an important person in the part of the horse-drawn wagon part at that beer company?
The person who's driving the wagon.
Okay, that's one person. Who else? Who else? Who else is important besides the guy who drives the wagon? Not somebody who was here last week.
Oh, I know.
Huh? Jonathan?
The person who loads the wagon. The person who loads the wagon.
Yeah, he's important, but he's easy to replace. Person who drives the wagon is not easy to replace because you need to know how to handle horses. Who else, Whitney?
The person that received the beer.
No, that's the customer. They're not going to change. No.
The person that makes it.
No, not the beer side. On the person who delivers the beer. Who's important? The guy who drives the wagon. Who else? Who else? Just give it a guess. Quick. Okay, the person who takes care of the horses, right? Because what if the horses didn't get a good night's sleep, or they didn't eat, or they're sick? Bad news for delivery of beer, right? Okay, so an important guy in that company is the most important guy, is the guy who takes care of the horses, because if the horses don't work, what happens to the beer? It don't get delivered, that's right. So now let's say you show up at that company for a job and you say, hi, I just graduated from, I'm a mechanic, I just graduated from school yesterday. I can fix your trucks. What happens, Jonathan?
That it's just going to be interested and probably ask like your experience or anything.
Why? They don't have any trucks. They have horse-drawn wagons. What are they going to say when you walk in?
They're going to look at you kind of weird because they don't have trucks that you can.
Yeah, are you going to get a job?
No.
What if you say, I'm the best? Or use the thing, I'm the best guy for this job. Were they going to hire you?
No.
No, why not? Because they don't need people who are mechanics. Now, let's say they bought their first truck, and you walk in the day after that and say, I just graduated from mechanic school. I'm a car mechanic, I'm a truck mechanic, engine mechanic. What happens then?
You probably would get hired.
Yeah. Are they going to say, well, you don't have any experience?
No, because
Why
they
not?
just got- because they just got the truck.
Because nobody has experience, right? Everybody's just buying trucks. Nobody has experience. So somebody that just got out of school is all of a sudden more valuable than who? The guy that the day before was the most important guy in the company. Now what happens to the guy who's the horse guy 6 months later when they don't have any horses? Okay, and that's where we are today with the cloud. If you know the cloud, you have what all businesses are going to need tomorrow, because I will promise you, the people that work out there do not know the cloud. They do not know the cloud. They don't use the cloud. They don't know the cloud. So you have the opportunity, just like our students that are in prison, that live at Catholic Charities, Salvation Army, all of these other places that have about a 5% chance of getting a job, and they're getting jobs, it's because they have skills that businesses need. But they also can articulate that. So when they get asked the question of why should we hire you, they don't say things like, because I really need a job, or because I'm really good, without the, why are you really good? They give them the answers that they care about. And the number one thing businesses care about is what, Whitney?
You have to pay attention.
The money.
Money. They care about money. And so if you only remember one thing from today, all businesses hire people because they want to make money or save money. Now, we're not here, I don't think anybody here is going to go for a job in accounting. So you're going to be out there making a money. And you need to articulate that, and guess what? How many other people do you think are going to say that in the interview?
No.
Unless they were here or up at Larson at the school, they're not going to say it. They're going to say what Jonathan said, which is what an interviewer, that's what everybody says. If you say the same thing everybody else says, does that help me make a decision whether you should be hired over anyone else?
No.
Right, it doesn't really help me. Now, if you don't say what everybody else is saying, that might be good or it might be bad. So I always answer the question with, why should we hire you? Because I'm going to make you more money than anyone else. How? Well, I do this, I do this, I do this. Those are the things everybody else says. And I know the cloud and I can bring it here. Now, if you have a rapport, you don't say it here, you say it, I can bring it to us. That's a certain type of closing technique where you get them to project you're already in there. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we'll do. That's what you do. So at Larson, what we do, the reason we have a high placement rate is, number one, we have people who are motivated. Number two, we give them techniques and strategies on how to not make mistakes when they get in an interview. And number three, we focus on the most important thing, which is what, Ernie? No. Did you forget? Hint? No? No, you won't know. If you weren't here, you won't know. Okay, so, huh? Okay, the most important thing, let me ask you this question. Whitney, okay, so you're good, you have good eye contact, that's good. I usually either pick on people who have good eye contact or people who are looking. Okay, because when I was in law school, that's who they target, is the people who think they're going to be invisible. They say things like, I'm invisible. They try to use a Jedi mind game. You can't see me. Ignore me. Ignore that person in that other row. So, if you learn something and you don't remember it, how valuable is that?
Not very valuable to you.
Whitney. Okay, Whitney, how valuable is it?
It's not really a good thing to do, but if not, like, there's other ways to, like, try to remember things.
No, I'm saying you don't remember.
Oh, if you don't remember.
If you don't remember, if you learn something and you don't remember, it's the same as not knowing it. We spend a lot of time, the fundamental thing at Larson is being able to remember stuff. Because if you can't remember, it's the same as not knowing. So what separates good students from not good students? Kiana. Kiana. I apologize.
Pay attention?
Huh?
They're not paying attention, I guess?
Okay, that would be part of it. Okay, Ernie.
The amount of them remembering.
Okay, so it's very simple. Good students remember more than not good students. That's it. When a test comes along, good students remember more than the not good students. How come they remember more? Kiana. How come good students remember more than not good students?
Because they pay attention to class and take notes and be active.
Okay, so that's a lot. They pay attention, because our brains are not designed really. You think multitasking. Our brains are not designed to do that. They're designed to focus. When you multitask, you're really not multitasking. What your brain is doing is very quickly changing from this to this, back to this, or these three things. But it's not doing all of those things at the same time. So people remember more because they focus, they pay attention. They tell themselves it's important, they need to remember. They write it down, they take notes, and they review their notes. So everybody here probably knows somebody who was a really good student, and after school, what did they do? They went and studied. All they're doing is remembering stuff that people aren't remembering. So the key is just to remember more. And how do we remember more? Well, one, we focus. What else do we do?
Note taking.
Write it down.
Take notes.
Video watching.
Video watching. So we make sure you have paper, and if you come back again, you get the notepad.
Actually forgot my notepad.
Okay. And you try not to forget because you don't remember.
It-
Okay. It's all right.
A legitimate excuse.
Okay. All right. So we remember because we take notes, we focus, we review our notes. Fact of taking a note helps you remember. We focus. Okay, good. There's a seat back there. What's your name?
Jose?
Jose. Jose. Okay, we take notes. Now, what we do here to help you is we make sure you're trying to take notes. I ask a lot of questions, so I'm not lecturing. So that means if I'm asking questions, you know I'm asking questions. What are you going to be more apt to do? We're out focus, right? Okay. We have a video. So if you send me your email, I send you a link so you can go back and review the stuff. Because what's the problem with memory, remembering stuff? Desmond, what's the challenge?
Well, if I remember correctly, you said that we forget 70% of what we learned during the day. So the challenge would be just simply trying to retain that knowledge.
Okay, so here's the thing. Our brains are designed to forget 70% of what we learn within 24 hours if we don't review it. Why? Any idea, Jose?
Because we're imperfect.
Okay, well, okay. Good coming in the first 30 seconds being able to come up with something. So that's good. That's good. When you're in an interview, you need to be able to communicate. So number one is remember. The other thing is, let's say, if you can remember something but you can't communicate it, how valuable is that, Payon?
Not very well.
Not very valuable at all, because what's the person who is trying to communicate with you thinking? That you don't know. Okay? So another part of our program at Larson is not only remembering, but it's being able to communicate and articulate. And the first thing to do is to participate, ask questions, or not ask questions, be able to answer questions. And sometimes even if the answer isn't right, it's better than, yeah.
Jose needs a pen.
Jose needs a pen. Okay. We have to have a pen right here. Okay, so our brains are designed to forget. Okay, what did Jose say? Why can't we?
We're imperfect.
Yeah, okay. They're not really imperfect because they're designed to forget. Okay, but in a sense, if you think that they're designed to remember, then they're not perfect, right? And that's what most of us are brought up to believe. We don't remember stuff because we're not perfect. No, we don't remember stuff because our brains are designed to forget. Because we always have information flowing in at all times from our five senses. We've got about 1 million things going on in your brains right now, each of our brains. We're only aware of about 40 of them. But stuff is going on all the time. So who has a driver's license here? Okay. Now, when you guys are driving, do you think you're aware of what's going on most of the time?
I think so.
No, you're not. Now, remember the first day you drove? Scary, kind of, right? And you're always, how hard do I push the gas? How hard do I push the brake? When do I turn the wheel? How fast do I go, right? What happens 6 months later when you're driving? Do you even think about that? You get in the car, turn on the key, and poof. You end up where you wanted to be, and you were on the phone, or you're singing, or you're talking to somebody, chewing gum, eating a sandwich, texting. We're doing all of that stuff that we're aware of. We're not even aware that we're driving. But our brain is aware. If you're driving and somebody puts their brake and you're talking on the phone and eating a Big Mac, and the guy in front of you puts their red light on, what are you going to do? You're going to stop because your brain is engaged and it's focusing on that. We're not aware of it. All of this stuff is going on, we can't possibly remember all this stuff. What did it feel like? What were you doing at 9:01 this morning?
Waiting in an office.
At 9:01, what exactly were you doing? Nobody knows what they were doing at 9:01.
I can tell you.
Why not? Do you know exactly what you're doing, what you were thinking, who you were talking to, what you said?
Yeah, I wasn't talking to anyone. I was thinking how much longer I'm gonna have to wait.
How do you know it was at 9:01? How do you know it was
I
at
was checking
9:01?
the clock a lot.
Okay, how about 9:14?
Essentially the same.
Oh, so you're thinking exactly the same thing in your brain? You just had this loop going on in your brain?
Maybe I was singing a song.
Okay, see, we don't know. Okay, we don't know because it's not important. Our brains are designed to forget. So when you're in a classroom situation and you say, I'm going to remember this, I don't need to take notes, guess what? You're going to forget. We started out this morning, right? What did we start with? Question number 1.
Best ways for someone to pass time. Best way to time the interview.
Okay, we started with a thing, and within the first 32 seconds, Kevin had forgot something we talked about last week, right? Okay, our brains are designed to forget. We remember stuff that's important. Who remembers the first time they got burned? You don't remember the first time you ever got burned? Huh? Okay. How about the first time you got an electric shock? Who remembers that? How about the first time you got punched?
Oh my Jesus.
Okay? Okay? There are things we remember that happen when that we don't remember anything else. Okay? Because we told our brain we need to remember that. Oh, that's hot. I'm not going to touch that again. That's sharp. That hurts. And those are things we remember. But the normal stuff we don't remember. We remember the stuff that we tell our brains is important to remember. So bad things, remember a lot of bad stuff. Schoolwork, not so much. Because what do we usually say when we're having to study? This sucks, this is stupid, I'm never going to use this. Okay, what is your brain hearing?
It's not important.
Not important. Okay, so what's your brain, one of these million processes going on in the back of your brain, what's it saying regarding remember this? No. So even if you say things like, I need to remember this, but it's stupid and it sucks, I'm never going to use it, you're giving your brain conflicting instructions, right? What do you think it's going to do? You're not going to remember it. People who are good students remember more than people who are not. People who are good students generally say things like, when I grow up, I want to do this. I want to be an astronaut, so I have to get good grades. Or I want to do this, so I have to get good grades. I need to remember this, it's important. So a lot of time at Larson, we spend getting people to remember stuff. Because if you learn something and you don't remember it, it's the same as not knowing. If you learn something and you remember it and you can't communicate it, it's what?
Useless.
It's pretty much the same as not knowing.
Yeah.
Okay, which would be useless. So our people go from a 5% chance of stable and meaningful employment to 87% stable and meaningful employment because they remember what they learn and they can articulate. And they have good strategies. So we try to prevent people from getting into a job interview, and when they get asked simple questions like, why should we hire you? They don't say what?
They don't? Or they do?
Yeah, they don't say what? Exactly. They don't say, oh, I don't know. Why should we hire you? I don't know. Not a good answer. How about because I really, really want this job?
No.
Is that going to work? No. So we help our students get the tools that they need. Now, for everyone here, I'm just going to go back and recap because I've given you a lot of information you want to remember. Most of it, unless you took notes or unless you go back and watch this video. Today is a point in time that if you learn the important stuff, you have an advantage over everyone else. And that important stuff is the cloud, because all businesses are moving to the cloud. all businesses. By the year 2100, 0 businesses will not be using the cloud. And it's not going to go like that. It's going to drop off very quickly. And so you have an advantage, just like the guy who just got his license to be, or his certificate to be a mechanic, just graduated from engine repair school. Just like that guy has an advantage the day that company decides to go from the old way of doing things to the new way. Just like that guy has an advantage, everybody in here has an advantage. But if you don't do something about it, it's the same as not taking advantage of the opportunity. Going to an old type of school, HVAC, so remember, see, notice I remember these things, okay? Going to an HVAC, going to computer repair to be a technician, those are not bad, but you're going to be at a serious disadvantage if you go in for a job interview and you're going in for HVAC, and the other 9 guys that are also the last 400 guys applied for the job, they're interviewing 10. You get into the interview, and they say, well, what's your background? You say, well, I just got out of school. I just graduated. I went to the Harvard of HVAC schools. And the other guy says, well, I didn't go to the best school. I went to just kind of a mediocre school. But I've been doing HVAC for 6 years. And here's the jobs I've worked on. Who has the advantage? Yeah, experience. So if you think that going to school to learn a skill and not having experience is good, it's not going to be good if you're competing against people where experience is important. In the example of the beer trucks, is the experience with the engines important? No, why not? Because the company doesn't have any engines right now. As soon as they get a truck, they need people to fix the truck. Nobody has experience. Today, 95%, I'm giving this a big number. I mean, I think it's closer to 100. I'm going to say 95. 95% of companies don't use the cloud. If you know how to use the cloud, you have an advantage over everyone that more than outweighs your lack of experience. So, is it good to go to a trade school to learn to be HVAC and then learn the cloud? I don't think so. I think it's better to learn the cloud and then do HVAC, because when you're learning HVAC, if you know the cloud, you're able to think in terms of, oh, I can do this, I can do all of these things. Instead of how this guy is telling me how to do HVAC and write down on charts and keep track of things, I'm going to do it this other way that's better, and I have an advantage because everybody else is learning to do it the old-fashioned way. I know how to do it this way. And it's the same thing with computer technicians or carpet cleaners or roofers or anything else. If you know the cloud, you have a big advantage over everyone else. So that's the other thing I want to stress, or the main thing I want to stress is you have this tremendous opportunity. And the opportunity is to learn the cloud to advance your career. But if you have a skill, if your choice is, should I go get a skill and then learn the cloud? That's not the best choice. It's better than not knowing the cloud. Any way you learn the cloud is better than no way. If you don't learn the cloud in school, where do you learn it, Desmond?
Well, research.
Okay, where do you learn it?
In your own time.
Kayana, where do you learn it? If you don't learn the cloud in school, where do you learn it?
Over.
At work?
Over.
Okay, but nobody knows how to do it. Okay, how about you, Erica? Huh?
What was the question?
Okay, we'll go to the next person. You need to stop on your computer, or you have to leave. Okay? Because it doesn't help. You can't be, obviously, you can't be paying attention to me if what? If you're doing something else. Our brains don't work that way. And if you get asked a question, you say, what? I wasn't paying attention. Now what? Let's play that out. If one person doesn't have to pay attention, who else does? Huh? Who else has to pay attention? If one person doesn't have to pay attention, who else does?
Well, I guess just other people in
No
general.
one has to pay attention, right? If one person doesn't have to do it, so in prison, they have a rule in prison, no hats. So I was standing there, a guy had a hat on. The lieutenant says, hey, why are you wearing a hat? And his thing was, well, hey, what's the big deal, LT? No one's around.
The big deal.
Huh?
The big deal of not wearing a hat in prison. It's a big deal.
You mean of wearing a hat?
Yeah. Still.
Okay. So the LT says, well, wait a second. If I let you wear a hat, how can I tell anyone else they can't wear a hat? Okay? So here, you know, the idea is to learn skills that help you get jobs. Is it going to help you get a job if you don't pay attention? If you're in an interview and you say, oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What do you think happens?
They're gonna lose their
That's it. That's the end of game. And it all comes down to habits. If you think you can be one way and then pretend you're something else, you might get away with it for a little while. But once they figure out you're not that, then what? Yeah. Maybe you don't get fired. Maybe they'll let you go, but what do you not get? You don't get promoted because you don't get trusted. What do businesses want? What do you think they want, Jose?
You want someone who's gonna work hard for them.
Yeah, they want the can-do person, the person they say, hey, Kevin, can you do this? Sure. Not, okay, they don't want that. These are just simple things. The good news is, everybody else, when they get asked questions, they say, okay. Now, the other thing that I want to demonstrate with this little experiment with Erica is, it's important to shake things off. What's that mean?
Just apologize.
No. It's one of the things you want your brain to forget. When somebody criticizes, what do you usually do? You keep hitting the what? The replay button, right? Everybody do that? That's what we do.
Yeah.
You keep hitting the replay button. What happens if you're hitting the replay button, Erica?
You're too busy focusing on your issues.
Yeah, you're not in the moment. I played baseball in college. And I was pitching against Stanford, in a game against Stanford. It's kind of an embarrassing story. And I threw a good pitch, and the guy hit the ball so far that I didn't think it was going to land. I mean, this guy hit the ball further than anybody has ever hit a baseball in the history of the world. And that's kind of one of those things that you can say, okay, that's it, I quit. Because you know, for the rest of your life, everybody else is going to say, hey, remember that time that guy hit the ball that almost hit the airplane? You know everybody's going to say that. And what if you keep hitting the replay button? Huh? Do you think you're going to be able to throw a baseball after that? No. Why? Because you're going to be afraid of what?
To not reach the goal that
You're going to be afraid the next guy's going to hit the ball into space. The difference between great athletes and good athletes is great athletes, when they make a mistake, they learn from it and they move on. Bad athletes make a mistake, they kind of learn from it, or maybe they learn from it, but they don't move on. They keep thinking about that thing in the past. And in baseball, some of the things that could do that are you get hit by a ball. You're at the plate, you get hit by the ball, it hurts. What do you think happens if every time you go up to bat after that, you're afraid of getting hit by the ball?
you're not gonna hit the ball.
You're not going to hit the ball because what are you thinking of?
Getting hit.
You're thinking of getting hit by the ball. If you make an error and the ball goes through your legs and you keep thinking about that, are you going to be effective? No. So the other important thing in the lesson with Erica was, when somebody says something work, hey, you screwed up, you got to own it, and move forward. Don't sort of own it and then keep pushing what? The replay button. Because what are you going to do internally if you keep pushing the replay button?
You're gonna stay stuck in that situation.
Huh?
You're gonna stay stuck in that mindset.
Yeah, and you're not going to come back.
Right.
Right? You're going to say, that sucks, I didn't get rewarded, it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. And the one characteristic of all of the Larson students when they start is that they have a belief about something bad. If you're in prison, what do you think you believe? Huh?
I mean, they're a bad person.
No, you don't think you're a bad person if you went to prison.
If I was in prison, I would be thinking that.
No, you wouldn't.
It all depends on the situation.
You would not think you're a bad person. What? Yeah.
That's not gonna be a job.
Yeah. The number one thing people who've been to prison think is nobody's going to hire me. Picture, you go into work, you go in for an interview, and you already say to yourself, they're not going to hire me. What happens?
You're gonna go in there thinking like.
You're not going to get the job. You're going to say something. So here's the fact. Our brains can process about 110 bits per second. Okay? It's just, 110. Doesn't matter what it means. 110. When we're talking, we're using about, talking and listening to a conversation, we're using about 65. Okay, that's why we can't carry on a conversation with two people at the same time, where they're both talking. Because our brains cannot process enough information. We can get little bits and pieces, but we can't carry on a conversation. We could be having a conversation right now. I could be talking. If it says over the intercom, Edward, please go to the white courtesy phone, would I hear it? Yeah, I'd hear it. Okay, if it then said, I'm talking to Kayana and we're having a conversation, and over the intercom it's saying, Edward, we need you to do this, your car tire is a little bit flat, but could you go over to this thing? Can I talk and hear that at the same time? No. This is the reason why. Our brains can only do 110 bits per second, and just having a conversation takes up 65. Let's say I'm in an interview and I'm thinking about they're not going to hire me because I've been an ex-felon. I'm not going to be able to do a lot more than those two things. Okay, I'm not going to be able to answer the question well. That's why this baggage that we carry around, we have to get rid of. When you go into an interview, you need to be focused on that. If you have any negative stuff, you need to say, I'll worry about that later. Right now, I got to focus on the positive. I'm going to take control of this interview because I want him to ask me, why do you want this job? And then when I say the word cloud, I want them to say, what do you mean? Because now that gets me to have an opportunity to bond with them. But can I talk about the cloud if I don't really remember the cloud? No. Okay, Ernie, how many cloud apps do we study at Larson?
8.
Correct. Good answer. We study 8. So if somebody says, what's the cloud? You really want to be able to talk about all of them, but you want to know one of them that you can talk to them about. And at Larson, what you do is you have done your research on that company, and you have one of these cloud apps that you've already done some work on for them. For example, here's an interactive map between you and all of your customers or your vendors. You think anybody else in the interview is going to do that? No. Why not?
They don't know the cloud.
Because they don't know the cloud, right? That's one thing. The other thing is they're too busy sending out 10 resumes a day. How many people send out 10 resumes a day? 20? 10 or more? How many do you send? Are you sending any out, Jonathan?
Not right now.
Okay, have you?
Yes.
How many?
Probably a day, like at least 5.
Okay, 5 a day. So like how many a week?
When I was looking for work,
Yeah.
probably like 10 plus.
So you only did it for 2 days? 10 plus a day, or how
No,
many?
you said throughout the week.
Yeah,
So throughout the week, I think I did more than 10 at least.
okay. So if I divided that by 5, that would be how many days?
Probably about
Two.
1 or 2.
Okay, so a couple days. So here's another hint. Whitney, you're in your interview. The interviewer says, are you looking for other work? Let's say you're sending out 10 resumes. You looking for other work?
No.
Okay. That's what a lot of people say. So number one rule always, never start a relationship out on a lie. Never, ever do. Don't ever start a relationship out on a lie. And that means any type of relationship. Don't ever start a relationship off on a lie, because it's not going to get better from there. Okay, so let's start over. Are you looking for work?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't want to say it like that. You don't want to say it like with the furrowed brow.
Okay, but
You need to own it. Okay? You either need to own it, or you need to say, boy, was I stupid then. So like, let's say you've been to prison, somebody says, hey, there's a gap in your resume here. What happened in these two years? Well, I went to prison for this, and boy, was I stupid then. That's the only good, I'm not saying it's a good answer. That's the best kind of answer you can say. Boy, was I stupid then. You own it, you move on. You don't dwell on it. You don't say, yeah, but you know, the DA had it in for me, or it was my next door neighbors and they set me up. You don't say that kind of stuff. Okay, so Whitney. So, okay, are you looking for work, other work?
Yes.
Okay, but why do you keep going like that?
Oh, I was writing something down.
Okay, so yes, tell me about it. Now we're on the slippery slope, right? What's a slippery slope? What's a slippery slope?
Where it's not going super well.
No, it's like you picture a hill and there's mud, and you're trying to climb up the hill, and it's slippery. What happens? Probably fall down, you won't get where you want to go. So we're on the slippery slope. Doesn't mean you can't make it to the top, but now we're on slippery slope. So tell me about it.
I've been to different other jobs, and
How many?
I would say about 3 or 4.
Okay. What are they? What kind of companies?
They're not big companies, they're just small.
Okay. Okay. So Whitney, I think, has progressed from how if we had done this at the beginning of the hour, you have a little bit more caution, right? Okay. So one of the things they don't want to hear you say is, I've sent out a lot of resumes. Now, if you had sent out 10 or more, as Jonathan had said, well, you broke the first rule, which is what?
Saying yes.
No, what's the first rule?
Not a lot.
Don't start any relationship out on lie. So I'm going to take it that you only have done 3 or 4. That's good. Okay. If you said 10, now in my brain as the interviewer, I'm thinking, huh, does this guy want to work for us, or does he just want a job? Because my job as the interviewer is to hire somebody who wants to work for us. And I don't care how good you are, if you don't want to work for us, all that means is as soon as something better comes along, where are you? Yeah, you're gone. The second something better comes along, you're adios. You're hasta luego. So so if you're sending out a lot of resumes, stop. Don't do it, because if you get into a company, they're going to ask you questions like, are you looking for work anywhere else? And if they determine you don't really care about working for them, you're not going to get the job. We've had some people, I'm not necessarily here, but I've had some people say to me, in the last month I've sent out 400 resumes, I haven't gotten one interview. And I say, well, why would you think you would get an interview if you sent out 400 resumes? Because at first, if you say 400 resumes, that means you've sent out to a whole wide spectrum of different types of companies, right? Because there's not going to be 400 of one company. There's not, I can guarantee you, there's not 400 7-Elevens here. If you just said 7-Eleven. There's not 400. So you sent out to a lot of different companies, and 7-Eleven is not the same as AM/PM. Anybody know that? Did you know that? Okay. A lot of people think McDonald's is the same as Jack in the Box. It's a fast food restaurant. If you work at Jack, you're in your interview for McDonald's, and they say, "Why should you work here?" And you say, "Well, I used to work at Jack in the Box, and it's just the same."
Yeah.
What happens next? No job, right? So the first thing you should do, if you don't come to Larson, which you really should come to Larson, but and they'll pay for you to come to Larson. Christina's starting next week. The first thing you should do is don't send out more than one resume to each type of company, to any company. Don't have a resume and make copies and send the same resume to different companies. Let's say it's McDonald's versus Jack in the Box. If you go to McDonald's website in the About Us section, do you think it says the same thing in Jack in the Box about us, other than the names are changed? McDonald's sees themselves differently than Jack in the Box, right? So if you send the same resume to both companies, unless you have some compelling different reason, but if you send the same resume to different companies, you're probably not going to say what either one of them is looking for. If you go on McDonald's website and say you want to work for McDonald's, the thing to do is what, Ernie?
Look up About Us under, webpage.
Yeah, go to McDonald's website, under About Us, find out what they say about them, and use those words in your resume to McDonald's. If you want to work for Jack in the Box, what do you do? Yeah, and use the words that they're looking for. Okay? If you think about it that way, does it make sense to have a resume that was designed, and you didn't look at either company's website, and you sent it to them, and you sent it to a hotel because you were interested in being a housekeeper, and you sent it to a maid service because you were interested in there, and you sent it to a dentist office, you're interested. Would it make sense to send the same resume to those different people? No, so don't do it anymore. Now here, they don't have the luxury here. They don't have the luxury that we have at Larson. Our employment planning workshop is the whole 16 weeks of school. You start out doing it, and if you think about it, if you have a plan to get employed, that you're going to spend 16, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks building that plan, versus somebody says, let me help you write a resume, and here's some companies to send it to, which do you think has the higher percentage of success? Yeah, okay, so I'm not criticizing here. Their job is different than our job. If our job was the same as this place, guess who wouldn't be standing here now? Me, because they wouldn't need me, because they already do this. So, so I'm not being critical of here, I'm being very complimentary of here, because they don't try to pretend we can do this on our own. We don't need you. Okay, so I just want to get that clear, because this is being recorded, so I don't want any misunderstanding of it. But in your life, the most important things to do are continue your education. We are at this stage right now. 3 weeks ago, who was here? Who was here?
I know the last name.
Okay, these are things you need to remember,
I keep
guys.
wanting to call him Noah. I know his name, but I know it's not
I don't
Noah.
know his name, but it's like your friend.
Eventually, it's hard.
Noah
Okay.
Bushnell?
So he'll be back. So who knows the game Pong? Pong? Video game Pong? 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 How about Atari? Atari? Chuck E. Cheese? Chuck E. Cheese, okay? Okay. So the guy who started those companies was here. And he liked Desmond. He liked Ernie too. I think you two are the only guys that were here today that were here then. Right? What's his name's not here?
Bryce.
Bryce is not here. Erica, you weren't here, right?
Yeah, I haven't been here for weeks.
Okay. So anyway, Nolan Bushnell was here, talking to everybody. He's going to be back. Everybody got their picture taken. Did you guys get your copy of the picture?
Oh, we were getting copies?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on Facebook, so.
Okay, I meant to check the Facebook page weeks ago.
Yeah, we're off Facebook.
Okay, so you should ask, who was that, Benita or Doreen
Yeah.
or Tommy, whoever's camera it was for a picture of the thing with Nolan. So he's going to be back. What was his message of what you should do?
That I should do what I want to do.
Was this about
His
starting?
fundamental message for everybody was if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And his attitude was, I don't work. The things I do to make money, I enjoy doing. Yeah, I don't. What was the name of Chuck E. Cheese before it was Chuck E. Cheese?
It was rat something, right?
Huh? No, before that. What did you think he bought?
Really rats?
Oh yeah, he thought he bought some sort of a mouse. Oh, wait,
Okay, so
coyote.
here's an interesting story for people that have seen Chuck E. Cheese. What's the logo of Chuck E. Cheese? It's a rat. Okay. Okay. Nolan was at a trade show and he bought a costume that you wear because he's going to put a robot inside of it. And he thought it was what? A coyote. He thought it was a coyote. So he bought this thing. He owned Atari at that time. He bought this coyote outfit. He sent it back to Atari and he was on the road. He called them up a few days later. He said, did you get the coyote costume? Because he wanted to call it Coyote Jack's Pizza. Okay, this would have been Chuck E. Cheese. Good. Coyote Jack. Did you get the rat? I mean, did you get the coyote costume? And they said, what coyote costume? He said, the one I sent you. And they said, you didn't send that. That's a rat. You sent a rat costume. And he said, well, why do you say it's a rat? He said, well, for one thing, it has a long pink tail. So now they had a problem of, because he wasn't going to buy another outfit, so now they had a problem of what to call it. So, the smart guy said, you can't have Rat Jack's Pizza. You can't have rat in the name of a food place. You can't do that. People won't go there. So he said, okay, come up with the name. And what did he say, Ernie? What did they come up with the name?
That they wanted to come up with a name that keeps a smile on your
A
face.
3-smile name, Chuck E. Cheese.
Can't say it from.
Correct. That's where the name Chuck E. Cheese came from. He thought he bought a coyote outfit, and he was going to call it Coyote Jack's Pizza. So he was here. His thing is, own your own business, start your own business. But he's a big proponent in education. In fact, he's starting a entrepreneur school here, primarily aimed at people that are high school age, that don't want to go to UNLV or CSN or those types of colleges. Just start your own business. What was an example, one of the businesses?
There was the eBay thing.
Okay, one example of a business, start your own business, Jonathan. Go to your neighbors, knock on their doors, and say, you've got a bunch of junk in your house. How about if I sell it on eBay and we split the money? Simple business to start, right? Okay, what was another business?
The dog walking.
Walking dogs. You had an example of a guy. So the eBay thing, he said, I went to a guy's house who started out that way. He's got a nice house on the top of a mountain, top of a hill in Colorado that has 10 bedrooms. The guy started going to his neighbors, saying, you've got a bunch of junk in your garage, let me sell it, we'll split the money. The other one was dog walking, based on a true story of a guy in LA. They have dog parks there. The guy was there, he had his dog, and he walked up and saw somebody else walking the dog, and he said, hey, I'll be happy to walk your dog for $10 an hour. And then the guy was walking like 5 dogs. How much was he getting per hour, Jonathan?
$50.
He's getting $50 an hour. He said, you know what, this isn't a bad gig. I'm going to go hire somebody and pay them $10. So how much do you get now? 40. You got 50, and you're paying this guy 10.
Okay.
So you still have 40. And then he decided he was going to go out and keep saying to people, do you want me to walk your dog? And now he had a whole bunch of references, right? So the guy ended up, and how much money did he make the first year? $150,000 in the first 12 months. Because he started by saying to people, how about if I walk your dog? He got enough dogs, and he hired somebody at 10, so he's making $40 an hour per employee. Let's say he gets 10 people walking dogs. This park, that park, this other park. He's got things on Craigslist. He's passing out flyers, putting things under people's windshield wipers. He ends up having 400 dogs. So 400, let's say, divided by 5 is how many? 400 divided by 5 dogs per person is how many? Okay, so you guys don't remember your 3rd grade multiplication table?
80.
No, 4th grade multiplication, 80, right. 80. And how much is he making? How much is he making? So he's got 80 people. How much is he making per hour?
10. Oh, no.
No. Well, okay, we could do it this way. 400 dogs times 10 is what? 4,000, okay. But he's got to pay how much? 80 times 10, right?
Right.
So how much is he making per hour?
Oh, right. That's right.
Okay. Let's say you only had 40 dogs. How many people out here do you think are in Las Vegas making $320 an hour? Let's say it's not that. Let's just say it's 300. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So how much is that?
Not consistently, but maybe.
No, it's consistently because people want their dogs walked. And you have it set up for automatic credit card pay. You don't have the people show up and they give you a check or give you cash. How many people are making $12,000 a week in Las Vegas? You don't think Steve Wynn is making $12,000 a week? Not. The point is not many, right? Does everybody agree? Not many people. Okay. So Nolan's point was anybody can do this. It doesn't take a lot. But what do you have to do if you're going to go up to somebody and say, "Can I walk your dog?"
Seeing that the first steps is good.
Depends on the area too, right?
No, he went to dog parks where people are walking their dogs. Yeah, I mean, certainly you wouldn't do this in North Las Vegas, right? Where our school is. You just don't. But in Summerlin, Henderson, downtown Las Vegas, there's dog places. These dog places are like $50 a day. One on Fremont and 8th Street. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about? You take it's like $50 a day. So Nolan's point, so what you need to do to get this is you need to know what you're doing because you need to persuade the person with the dog that says, yeah, okay, I'll pay you $10 a month, that you're not going to steal the dog or hurt the dog because that dog is what? Well, it's a member of their family. Okay, most likely. You know, a lot of people think if they're going to a dog park, they love the dog. So, so Nolan's point was have a business. Now, what I want somebody to do is get onto Google Chrome. Who's on Google Chrome? Okay, good. Now, we're going to download an app, or we're going to try, and let me know if we can do this. How are you going to download an app? How do you do it?
Oh, like within Google Chrome itself?
Yeah.
Well, there's this little app link up here.
Okay, so in the upper left-hand corner,
Web store specific.
there's a little 9-square grid that's colored. You can click on that, and then you go and click on what in the lower right-hand corner, the what?
Web store.
Web store. You click on the web store. Anybody need help?
Yeah.
Okay, help the person next to you.
Oh, that.
We do the Navy SEALs, learn one, do one, learn one, teach one. Okay, how about you, Carlos?
It's still on.
Oh, caps lock's on.
Huh? Okay, good. So help Carlos, and Carlos help Kayana. Christina, how are you doing?
Password.
Not on Chrome?
First of all, you have to go all the way back.
Okay, so in the upper left corner is a little 9-square grid that says apps on the bookmark.
K is lowercase.
Click on that, and go to the web store.
And that's uppercase, and then the rest is just lowercase. So do this.
Okay? Eric, are you there? Ernie? Jonathan? Jose? No?
Computer's on.
Computer doesn't work.
Okay, just watch Whitney or Jonathan. Christina?
Yeah, I'm good.
Kayana?
She's logging.
Huh?
She's logging.
Cool. I can't hear what?
She's logging.
Yeah, this computer
Okay.
likes to do.
Carlos? Kevin?
She's
Renee?
working on it.
She's working, okay. Now, from the web store, go to, type in the search, mind map.
Oh,
And what you're looking for type in MindMup. One word, MindMup 2.0 is what you're looking for.
so this is that, because I remember getting an email notification from an event from Larson that I didn't get to go to, so this is what you guys are doing?
This is it,
Cool.
okay? So type in the search MindMup to MindMup, and you will have, something comes up with a list of things. You're looking for MindMup 2.0,
Yep, got it.
okay? So if one person can get it, everyone can get it.
Wait, maybe I didn't get to
Kevin,
point.
Carlos, Whitney still logging on? I mean, Kayana,
Quick question. Oh, no, okay, never mind.
Christina, Whitney, Jonathan,
Okay.
Ernie,
Is it the free one?
they're all free.
Okay.
It also,
I thought about it, I'm on again. They're also free. Okay, so it's the first one, right?
So think before you speak. So here's what they say in prison. Choose your next words very carefully.
Okay.
Okay? Ready? You got it?
Right.
There? Okay, load the app. Load the app.
type in MindMup 2.0, or just MindMup.
MindMup. Okay?
Do we just say add the phone?
Add to Chrome. Add it.
2.0.
I didn't have Chrome on.
Okay, so do you know how to get Chrome, Whitney?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Here.
See, the difference between here and at Larson is the people at Larson grew up before learning how to use the internet.
Basically, it might be because this.
So it's really slow. This part right here would take a
Go back to
day
it and then click on show details.
just to get to this level at school. If you don't believe me, go on to Larson Training Centers on YouTube and watch the Monday MindMup class. Okay.
Yeah. So her computer or Chrome itself isn't letting her do anything with downloading it.
Okay.
That one's just having.
So then
internet
Renee,
issues.
just watch Desmond.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Watch, because you're going to want to do this. This is a very powerful tool. So here's what you want to think of in terms of overcoming challenges. A lot of people fail because they mostly fail because they give up. Sometimes you fail because you just can't do it. But most time people fail because they give up. There comes to be a challenge and they say, I can't do this, I'm going to give up. It's too hard, I don't know enough, whatever. So what you want to do is you want to develop a mindset that says, what is the tool I need to use to solve this problem? And literally, I tell you, if you go to these seminars and pay big money on how to be thinking, they'll talk about things like you have a mind memory palace, or you have this mental laboratory that you have, and you go in there and you're kind of meditating and you think about what you're going to do. Does anybody watch Sherlock?
Yep.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. The one where he killed the guy? Yeah, okay. So, so what you want to do is you literally want to think in terms of having a toolbox. Now, Ernie, would you want to have a toolbox where your only tool is the hammer?
Oh, no,
Why?
because what happens if I'm using a screwdriver?
Okay. So one of Nolan Bushnell's sayings is if your only tool is the hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Remember that. You might want to write that down. Okay. If your only tool is the hammer, every problem looks like a nail. What does that say? What's that telling us?
You look at every problem somewhere.
If you don't have a lot of tools, you only have a hammer, you don't have any other choice. If you have a screw and you have a hammer and you need to get that screw in, what are you going to do?
You're just gonna smack it.
You might try to pound it in. So what do you want to do with your toolbox? Have one tool?
You won't have vehicles.
You want to have multiple tools. You want to have the right tool. What do you want to do in HVAC?
Refrigeration.
No, but what do you want to do in terms of tools?
Oh.
You just go out with 3 tools, a pair of pliers, a
A
Leatherman, huh?
Have the whole set.
Yeah, you want to have the right tool for each job, right? Okay, so in life, you want to have the right tool for whatever situation you're in. And if you think about challenges as things and you say, what tool do I reach for? And you literally have a mental image of a toolbox, this works. So when I was growing up, I had to learn to play golf. So in the old days, the thing I was told is when you walk into a sales call, imagine you have a bag of golf clubs on your back. Does anybody here play golf? Okay. So imagine you have a set of clubs on your back, and when you walk in the door of that place, it's like you say, okay, well, here's the ball. What club do I need to use? On the green? Seriously?
Oh, green? Oh, no.
Right. So you say,
Yeah, about
what
that.
club do I need to use based on where I am? But as I would tell everybody, if you don't know how to play golf, it doesn't have any meaning.
Yeah.
But most people know what tools are, right? Screwdriver, pliers, ratchet, sockets.
Multimeter.
Okay? So in life, or what you want to do, one of the techniques is you think of what's the right tool to use in this situation. MindMup is a tool. Google Calendar, tool. Let's just put the things on the board. So what I want everybody to do on their notes is to get one page on the right-hand side of your notebook. Even if it's one of these notebooks, only write on the right-hand page. Only write on the right side. Why do we only write on the right side, Ernie?
Because on the right side, that's where we take our notes, and if we want to add anything additional, we'll add it to the left side.
When we review, we add our stuff to the left page. So when you're taking notes, you only write them on the right side of your book. Later, when you review it, you clarify on the left side. So you have room, and you can see the whole thing as opposed to flipping to other pages. Okay? So what I want everybody to do is draw an X. These are the Google apps that we learned at Larson. Ernie, what's one of the Google apps?
Google Maps.
Maps. Okay, Erica.
Right.
Drive. Good. Desmond.
YouTube?
YouTube. Okay. Do we have anybody else in here that has gone through this exercise? Okay. Ernie.
Another one?
Yeah.
Search.
Huh?
Search?
No.
Search.
No.
Gmail.
Gmail. Good. Erica. Okay, now, we filled up our X, right? So what I want everybody to do is draw another one like this, so you now have an asterisk on your page. These are the 8 Google apps that we learned. Okay, Erica.
Google Documents.
No. That's a sub-app of Drive. Okay, what's another app? Desmond. Okay, so at Larson, you have to know these things, because if you're in your interview and you say, I know the cloud, and they say, well, what, like what? What's that mean? And you say, well, Gmail, well, I already know Gmail. YouTube, well, I already know YouTube, right? So these are things that you're gonna be able to, yeah, go through this every Monday. Okay,
Yeah, so.
calendar,
Okay.
voice, Google Plus, and Chrome. And what do we do with Chrome, Desmond? We put a box around Chrome because it's not really an app.
Right.
Why isn't it an app under our definition?
It's
But why is it not an app though?
Because it's actually defined as a program?
Because it's stored on your computer.
Right. It's
Okay,
not.
these things are not. So Erica's right. Everybody's right, except the ultimate fundamental thing is it's not an app because it's on your computer. We want to say that that's a program. That apps are stored on the cloud. They're programs that are stored on the cloud. Chrome is not stored on the cloud, but you have to learn this if you want to know these other apps, because these other apps are designed to work inside of Chrome. And what's the mobile version of this called? What's the mobile version of this called? Android.
Oh.
I know everybody knows that, because everybody here doesn't have an iPhone, right?
Well, I mean, I know it.
I was looking at like.
Because I have Chrome on my phone, and my phone's Android. It's
Do
just
that
called
also,
Chrome.
but the operating system, what Chrome is to these apps is the operating system, right?
Okay,
It's not the operating system to your computer, but it's the operating system for the apps. Anyway, let's move on. So these are the 8 apps that we learn at Larson. And they all work together. These are tools to be in your toolbox. And if you remember the thing I drew over here, right? If you master these, other people out there don't know. And some of these apps have sub-apps, like Drive has a sub-app called Docs. What's another sub-app?
Sheets.
Sheets, what else?
Slides.
Slides, what's another one? The second most important one.
Second page.
Hmm? Forms. What's forms?
The forms. Google documents.
No, what in Google Drive, what are forms?
Isn't that where you can find?
No.
Yes.
It's a database.
I was good.
And a form is the thing that looks like the form that you fill in a piece of paper like this. This is a form, right? So Google Forms, you design this very simply. And when people fill it in, which is called populating it, it writes it to a spreadsheet. And once you have a spreadsheet, what can you do?
Input data?
No, it's already input.
Oh, geez.
You can sort it, you can arrange it.
Oh.
So here, we could say, okay, arrange in alphabetical order by first name, arrange by last name. If you had age, put them by age, put them by birthday.
Forms allows you.
Tell me all the people who live in Canada. Okay, so forms is very important.
Okay, so allows you.
Okay, and it's a big advantage you guys have over me. Because in the world I grew up with, it was paper and pencil. You didn't have a lot of the ability to do databases and sort things, because what did you have to do? You needed to erase and create a new paper or type thing. So people my age don't think in terms of manipulating large amounts of data unless they do it for work. All right, so anyway, these are the 8 Google apps we use, and these are tools. This is what we're going to focus on today, MindMups. This is a tool that is not made by Google, but it now 2.0 is designed to work inside of Google Chrome, just like Docs. Meaning you don't have to save, it's always being saved. Collaboration, it's always there. Other people can be looking at the same form you are. You move something on your mind map, and the other person, they see it move on their screen. Completely collaborative. So mind map is a tool, these are tools. This is the ticket to stable and meaningful employment, if you learn this. Can you learn this on your own? You can't. Should you?
Yeah.
No. You need to be an instructor. Right. Well, it's like saying, can you learn to play basketball on your own, Jonathan,
Yes.
without a coach?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. You're going to get to the NBA?
It depends on how hard I work.
No, not. Okay, nobody ever has. It always comes down to everybody who became a professional. If you say, how did you become a professional? Within the first 32 seconds, they're going to talk about somebody who motivated them, who believed in them, who got them to push themselves and learn more than they could learn. Because at the end of the day, amateurs can only teach amateurs to be what?
Amateurs.
Amateurs. To be really good at a thing, you need a professional. So yeah, you could go on YouTube and learn how to do these tools, but you're not going to get to be as good as if you went to work at Google, right? Does everybody agree?
Right.
If you went to work at Google and they said, here's how you do Drive, would you ever try to say to them, well, I could have learned that on my own? No, because you have people there that tell you things and point you in the direction, save you time, prevent you from making errors. So yes, you can learn these things on your own, but you don't want to learn them on your own. You want to improve what you learn on your own. You need to put in the hours. There's a guy named Malcolm Gladstone. Malcolm Gladstone, who's writes business books and other things. One is called The Tipping Point, another one's called Blink. And he did some research and he found out to become an expert at something, you need to spend 10,000 hours doing it. Okay, let's do some quick math. If you spend 2 hours a day, like in school, right? 5 days a week, is how many hours a week? 10 hours a week. Now, how many weeks is it going to take you to get 10,000 hours? What's 10,000 divided by 10?
Oh, 1,000?
Correct. 1,000 weeks. Now let's say you spent 50, you say you went to school 50 weeks of the year. How many years would it take you divided by 50 is what? Huh?
200?
No. Close. So drop off a 0. What's 100 divided by 5? 20. If you spent 2 hours a day learning something, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, it's going to take you 20 years to be an expert. Okay. Do you think Michael Jordan spent 2 hours a day learning to play basketball? How long do you think he spent? Okay. Anybody know who Steve Nash is? Who's Steve Nash?
I think I heard of his name.
He plays soccer and basketball?
Correct. Yeah, he plays soccer and basketball. So he went to the same college I went to, same university, Santa Clara. And he would walk around campus dribbling a tennis ball all day.
A tennis ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. What is he trying to get to? It's 10,000 hours. Because dribbling is part of basketball. My roommate in college was on a tennis scholarship. And he would go around with the tennis racket, or not, but getting a tennis ball and just, doing this. Just eye-hand coordination of hitting the tennis ball with his hand all day long. So, if you want to become an expert at some things, Malcolm Gladstone says you got to spend 10,000 hours doing it. Do you think you're going to spend 10,000 hours learning to do these Google apps on your own?
No.
1,000? 100? per app? No. We're not.
I mean,
Larson, our school, is 520 hours. Okay, that's a big difference from 10,000. And I'm not saying everybody's working during that time. They're focused, they're trying to get to their 10,000 hours. Because a lot of people still are doing Facebook, checking their email. Does that help you become an expert? No, it doesn't. So these apps are called what? That we call them? Tools, right, tools. Think of them as tools and think of your imaginary toolbox. And when you get into a situation, you want to think of which tool do I need? If I want to communicate with people, if I want to teach people, if I want to do this, or here's a problem I need to solve, what do I use? Could I use YouTube in HVAC?
Yes.
How?
Learn
One of you two guys.
Just learn how to fix something.
how to troubleshoot.
With YouTube? Right, okay. Go on YouTube, I got this problem here, this toilet, I can't, whatever. Go on YouTube, how do I fix this problem? What's another thing I could use YouTube for in HVAC? I can create a library of my own.
Create a playlist.
I could create a playlist, which is a library of, here's how we do it at this company. You used to work at that company, they do it differently. Here's how we do it. What's another thing I could use it for? How about customer service?
Demonstration.
Customer wants to make sure we did this, how we did the job. Here was before, here's after, right? How about sales? Could I use this for sales?
So data.
Could I use YouTube for selling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what to expect on the job. Here's some jobs we've done. How about voice? Right, nobody else has, but it's fantastic. Drive. Virtual file cabinet. Everywhere I go, I've got access to my customer records. Right on my cell phone. Pictures of every job, my YouTube library, I have everything. Calendar. Scheduling. Also, it's not, calendars aren't just for the future, they're also for the past. When did we do your job? So Google search, on calendar, on Google search, guess what you can do? You can search for a date. When did we do this person's job? Oh, let me check. Boom. Okay? Multiple calendars. Employee sick day calendar, holiday calendar. Maps.
Find out where some places,
What else?
location,
What does that mean?
like finding a location, where to go to,
Okay, isn't that what you said first?
like,
Or
What else?
where to find your location.
What else?
location of customers.
Okay. What are the different views in maps now?
On stars.
Huh?
The different star ratings. Street view.
No, just
Oh,
maps.
like street view.
Street view, regular view, satellite, street. What else? There's two more.
Being kind of spooky.
Standard.
Let them call that standard. Street, satellite. What else? Inside view. Most people don't know about that.
What? There's an really? Oh, hold on.
You got a restaurant. You want people to see what it looks like inside your restaurant? What does street view show you? Outside. Okay, that helps you get there, but it doesn't really show you what it's like. How about the inside of the restaurant? Inside view. What's the other one?
What's the one?
Time view.
What's the one? Oh, is it
Time. You can go back and see what did this look like 5 years ago. Because you know what? They got these cars driving around, right? Yeah, they don't just now throw away the old pictures. They say, you want to see what it looked like the last time we were here? And they have a timeline. Okay? Could that be valuable if you know that and you're going to say, I'm going to be in business for a long time? You have a strategy to say, hey, every 2 years, Google's going to update these pictures. So what we want is we want people to see our business is getting better. We don't want it to look like it's going down or it's staying the same. Okay, MindMup. So does everybody have this on their screen? Load your MindMup.
Yes. I think everyone else's computer and stuff.
Okay, load your MindMup, and what you should ultimately have is a thing in your screen in the center that's blue that has some writing. Anybody got there? Anybody there? Okay, where did you find MindMup?
On the app.
In your apps, right? Over here, in your apps button in the upper left, you'd see the little MindMup icon, right? Anybody not see it? Anybody see it? Nobody's answering either. Okay, Erica, you got it? Okay. So now we know everybody should get it. Okay. So you have this little blue thing in the center, right? Hit the space bar and type test. Okay, and hit enter. Hit enter again. What happened?
Well, connected some bubbles.
Okay, so these things are called nodes. Okay, so now you have another node here, right? Okay, so here's the Larson employment plan. We're going to do it in 10 minutes. Go back and select the main node. And type in EPW and then your initials. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, now create a subnode. How do we do that?
Press enter again.
Enter. And name this one Dream Position.
You have to have a Google account to do this.
I don't know. You had to sign in?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So now you have to have a Gmail account. If you don't have one, write notes and do this. Go get a Gmail account later. Okay, so you have one called Dream Position. If you hit enter, what happens?
Oh, if you hit it twice, it makes a subnode again.
Okay, so now we have a subnode.
Oh, connected to the original. How about that?
Yeah, we want a subnode, and this is called prospective employers. Hit return twice. Okay, hit return twice, and you got another subnode, right?
What was that perspective?
Prospective employers. Okay, do it again. This one is called research. Do it again. Plan. Do it one more time. And type temporary job. I'm missing one. So, over here, we'll create another one, do it again, and click execute. Okay? Who's the first person that has this?
I think.
Erica? Okay.
I mean, I have it too. Wait, do you mean in the actual plan or the example?
This. You have this, Erica?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get a bus pass next week. If you're not here, you don't get to get it the week after that. Okay. So we've got a couple more bus passes, if you guys need them. And why not, right? Okay. So we've got that. Now, what I want you to do is go back to each one and number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you go back and number them?
Double click on.
Select it, hit the space bar, and then move your cursor to the front. Let me know who's first. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who's got it? You got it? Is that verified? Okay, so Carlos. Okay, now what I want you to do is reorder these. So there's 3 on this side and 3 on that side. All you have to do is select it and drag it. So it should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got that?
Yeah, I actually kind of switched them around earlier.
Okay, good. All right, so we're going to give you one because I didn't say we're not going to do one for that. And you were so fast, you beat me to we're not doing one, a bus pass for that. So you got in under the wire. Congratulations. Okay. Now what we're going to do is create subnodes off of these nodes. Okay, so off of dream position, do for free. And on this one, we're going to say pay to do.
So if you press tab, yeah.
If you select this and you hit tab, you're going to get a subnode. Now, in Google Apps, there's always more than one way to do things. Slower ways to do it are right-click, enter subnode. Or on your bookmarks bar, it also has these things, subnodes, child node, parent node, siblings. Okay, that's the other way to do it. So do for free, pay to do. This one, I want you to create a node that just has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that. Okay? So the subnodes of prospective employers are just numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got 4 minutes. Who's got this done? Good. Okay, that one wasn't too long. Now, okay, what I want you to do is open your drive. We're going to do an attachment. Open your drive. Create a document. How do we do that? Okay, go to Google Docs, create a document. And what I want you to do on the document is title it EPW and your initials. Okay? Who's got that? Okay, Ernie has his arms folded like he has it, but I said who has it?
Who has it?
Yeah, do you have the document?
I have signed in Google Docs.
Oh, you don't? I thought you had Google Docs. I thought you had a Google
I'll
account.
tag you any Google apps without having a Gmail.
I thought you had a Gmail.
I have it.
You said add a blank?
Huh?
What was the,
What?
go to the blank one?
Create a document. Yeah. How do we do that, Kevin? How do you create a document?
Hit new.
New what?
New doc.
New docs, right. Okay, that's all you do. Hit new docs. Okay. Name the document EPW, your initials. How do you change the name? Jonathan. How do you change the name of, create a name on this document? How do you create it? The name?
You click on the.
You just click on it. This thing that says untitled document in the upper left-hand corner of your page, you should click on it and just type in EPW, your initials. Okay, now, close that document. Is it closed? Okay, reopen it. How do you reopen it? How do you close the document?
Well, I close it by.
Christina, do you know? Okay, just close the tab. Hit the X on the tab. Okay, does it open back up? Who's still with me? Erica? Are you with me, or did your wheels fall off the wagon?
Well, I closed it, but when I bring it up, it's just blank at me again.
What's blank?
The document.
Well, you didn't write anything on it, right? Oh, you did?
Yeah, I put the initials and then I closed it and then I reopened it.
Did you hit enter after you put in the name? Probably not. Okay. So this is a good lesson learned. With Google Apps, It's always say Google Docs. It's always saving what you do, but you have to hit enter. So if you change the name and you have the cursor there and you close it, guess what? Not
Does
there.
it change?
Yeah, okay. So now, moving on. Go back now to your MindMup. Did everybody close the tab, or do you still have the tab open for MindMup?
I still have it open.
Good. It still should be open. Okay. Go to your MindMup. Click on this parent tab on the parent node. Now, either go to the bookmarks bar or the toolbar in MindMup, or right-click and you want to add an attachment. That's the paper clip. Click on the paper clip. Click paper clip. Who's with me?
That's nippy.
Okay, Erica, good. Desmond? Jonathan, good. We got 3 people still playing. Carlos, okay. 3 people are still in the game. Okay, now what does it say, Jonathan? You clicked on the paper clip. What paper clip? Huh?
So select an attachment.
Okay. And down at the bottom does it say Google Drive?
Oh, now it's the.
Where do you find it?
My mind.
Okay, go to your drive. Go to your drive, find the file, and attach that file on this node. So you got to make sure this node is selected. Click the paper clip. Go to your drive and click on that file. You have it, Erica? Perfect. Okay, so now what's on this node?
The document,
What's on the node? What's on the node?
paperclip.
Paperclip is on the node. Okay, what does the paperclip go to? Goes to the document. Isn't that cool? Isn't that powerful?
It is.
You create a document in your drive, and it's attached to this thing, so now you can create this map, and you can take any problem and make it simple. So if this is an HVAC business, you're going to go do a job, you have different nodes for the main parts of the job. You can break these nodes down. How many subnodes do you think you can have off of this thing?
How many?
Huh?
Probably indefinite.
Probably, not. It's not really, but more than you need,
Yeah.
okay? Now the best thing about this, one of the best things is it's collaborative. You could be somewhere, and Desmond could be anywhere else as long as you're on the internet at the same time. You can both be working on this. So Desmond changes something here. Guess what's on your screen, Ernie? It's changed. You drag something around, poof, magic. Okay, that's one of the best things about this. Now the best thing is something called storyboards. Who knows what PowerPoint is? Okay, so you go into storyboard mode, and you can drag these and put them in order, and it turns it into a PowerPoint for a presentation or for a learning tool. And I will tell you, when you want to start your own business, PowerPoints, or what's it called in Google?
Storyline?
What's PowerPoint in Google?
Story.
Drive? Slides?
Oh.
Okay. So you can take this, create a storyboard, turn it into a PowerPoint presentation, which then you can do what with? So you're writing a book. Imagine you're writing a book, picture in your brain, you're writing a book. You have all of the components of the book. Characters, plot, scenery, time frame. You have all of that stuff, and then you're going to write your book. You just drag parts out and put them in the order you want, and then you run it in storyboard mode, and you just see it in order that you want. That is hugely powerful. If you go to work, if you're in your interview, and you show them this, their whole business changes overnight. You just sold them on buying a fleet of trucks, getting rid of the horses tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's after 2, so we're done. The best thing to do is what? Today and tonight.
The review.
Review, right, remember. How are you gonna remember? How are you gonna remember, Jonathan?
Email you and then watch the video.
Okay, that's one way. What else?
Review your notes.
Review, what's another way?
Wow.
Practice on the mind map that you just started with. Because this is the order on how you get 87% placement. You figure out what do you want to do, you find 3 to 5 employers that do it, you do your research on those 3 or 5 employers, you create a plan, and then you execute the plan, and while you're waiting for that plan to come through, you go get a job. Just like every actor does, or a musician does before their big break comes in. They have something that pays the bills.
Since I
Yes.
wasn't able to email you, can I do it off my phone, like,
Yeah.
later?
Just send me an email. Okay, everybody, I know you got your money's worth because it's free.